All right, welcome to my presentation. My thesis is today I will be assessing the vibes of some games I recently played and deciding if they'd be good places to hang out in real life and if I'd even be able to survive there in the first place. Let's break it down. What you need to know. The agenda of today's presentation is number one, what are the overall vibes of these games? The atmosphere, setting, Number two, who are the locals, right? So if I'm gonna hang out in these places, number one, are they nice places? Number two, who's gonna be there with me is equally as important, I would say. Number three then would be how likely maybe this should be number one, but it's how likely am I to die in these places, because they could be beautiful, there could be great people there, but if it's hostile, if I have to fight, I'm a lover, not a fighter, so we'll see how this goes. Game number one, Big Walk. And there's 10 games, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Game number one, Big Walk. So Big Walk is a game set in Australia, and you do puzzles there, and it's a co-op game. So number one, the setting, the vibes, is the Australian bush. So you're outside the whole time. It is beautiful there. There's really no inclement weather, which is nice. There's no hunger. There's survival mechanics. And there is nighttime, though, and it gets very dark there in Australia. So really, the vibes of this game are great if you like being outside, if you like hiking and exploring. So far, great place to hang out. Also, yes, the bush is any native, uncultivated, and wooded area or rural region outside major cities in Australia. Number two, the people. So only your friends are there. It could be good or could be bad if you like your friends or not. So that's actually going to be, for me, it's going to be a plus, but for some people, it might not be. I played this game with my girlfriend, so that was fun. We were just hanging out and hiking, and so far, so good. Number three, you can't die in the game unless your internet connection is a little funky, and then you kind of just, do this. You kind of become a corpse, and actually your friends can carry your corpse around if that happens, but then you can just log right back in. But overall, if you're a fan of the wilderness, if someone says to you, take a hike, and you don't take that as an insult, you say, thank you, I would love to take a hike, then this game is good for you. And also, someone told me one time that the toilets flush backwards, like counterclockwise in Australia, and I'm still not sure if that's true, but I know that it is winter there right now, so anything is possible in Australia. Big Walk. Good game. Game number two, Persona 5 Royal. Now, I am not finished with Persona 5 Royal. I am about 40 hours in now, so for my third half, who knows. Setting here, basic synopsis. You are a high school student in Tokyo, and sometimes you fight demons at night or after school. So number one, a couple different locations, high school, the streets, and then palaces. I did not like high school. The only thing worse than high school, middle school. But the streets, though, fun. You can just kind of hang out, walk around, go shopping, go to your job. You can play baseball, you can play darts. Lots of fun stuff to do. So that kind of balances out the high school part that I don't like. I mean, I like the high school in the game, but for real life, I wouldn't like the high school. I like the streets. The palaces are some are more interesting than others. I just finished the Egyptian pyramid one, which I thought was a pretty interesting place to be, but also you do have to fight there, which would not be good for me. So you do get a variety, which is good. Number two, the people. There are a million people there, and there are a lot of criminals because you jump into the palaces to stop the criminals. So you are stopping them, but there still are a lot of criminals out there. And there's just a lot of people. So if you want to blend in, it could be good. If you get kind of overwhelmed out in public, you're in Tokyo. It's kind of crazy there, Just do with that information what you will. Number three, I am playing on story mode, so the stakes are non-existent, and basically I can't die. And if I do die, I just spring back to life. So this one's a bit of a mixed bag for me, if I would like it. Happy back to school, by the way. when I was in school, I just couldn't wait to be an adult, and everyone's like, oh, being an adult sucks, but it's kind of better than being in school. But I do like, the little alleyways you can explore in all the shops. So I think I would survive just like I survived high school, especially if I am playing on easy mode with the fighting. But I don't think that this is my number one pick for where I would like to actually hang out in real life. Okay, game number 3 is Horse Magnifier, the Full Horse. This is a new release, and it is a game about magnifying horses. So I will put some gameplay here so you can see what I'm talking about. The vibes are that there are horses, pretty much, and there's kind of like you're not in a liminal space. You're not really anywhere, just with lots of horses. Number 2, the people you'd be hanging out with here, it's just horses, and they are very weird. Now, I think some of these horses might get clicky just based on the different properties they have, magnification, rotation, all of that. I just feel like they might be a little clicky, but if I could find a good group to hang out with, then it could be a really fun time. Number 3. This is a pretty safe game, I would say, unless you get on the horse's bad side. So basically just don't disappoint them, and do your best to recreate the horses, and you should be okay. So that is my rating for Horse Magnifier. I like it. It's kind of isn't really even a place that you could hang out with. I am a little bit scared of horses in real life, but maybe it's just because I've never got to know one, so TBD on that one. Game number 4, A Way Out. So, A Way Out, it's like Prison Break the video game, except there is actually a Prison Break video game that is apparently bad, but this is pretty much the same thing. It's a co-op game, and started playing it after Big Walk. So, number 1, you are in prison. That is the vibes. Not great. But it is split screen, so you can see both characters at once, which is honestly pretty fun. Not many split screen games these days, and this one does some cool cinematic stuff. But a couple big points are going to be docked for being in prison. It's not necessarily a place I would want to hang out. Number 2, the people you would be hanging out with are prisoners and guards. Again, not maybe people I typically get to know on the regular. Some of the people could be there. They could have been set up so they could be innocent. Some of them may feel bad for what they did, and they're trying to, get better and do the right thing. So that's great. Guards, though, there's no coming back from that. Number 3, you can die in this game a lot, or just restart, especially if your partner is not as good of a gamer as you are. We have had a couple instances of this already when I kept trying to sneak past someone when my partner was supposed to be distracting them and kept dying because of her inability to press a button. But, it's pretty simple. So A Way Out, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to prison. I've seen Orange is the New Black. I've seen Prison Break. I'm not a tough cookie. Unless I could be like that person that is just the best, that everyone loves, and, it's like, you can't mess with them. Like, people would go to bat for me, so I'd have to build up my rep, like this little hamster over there. So if I could kind of become that type of archetype, then maybe things would work out, but it's really not somewhere that I would want to be. Game number 5, Professor Layton series. This is a good one. So specifically Professor Layton and the Curious Village, and I'm also playing the sequel, Diabolical Box, right now, but we'll focus on Village here. So this game it's a DS game, it's got a lot of brain teasers, and you're this detective that wears a top hat. So number 1, where is it set? In Saint Mystery. It is somewhere in Europe. Everyone is kind of British, I guess. When does it take place? I'm not really sure. Trains are invented, so I would say late 1800s, late 19th century, early 20th century. It's gonna be my guess, but it's in the past in Europe. So the people there, everyone is kind of annoying. Professor Layton is cool. Luke, the sidekick, is honestly, he's annoying. There's this detective guy that is annoying. There's this like rich lady who's annoying. And there's all these people in the town who just bombard you with puzzles. They're like, please solve this puzzle for me. I can't figure it out. Or like, if you want my information, you have to solve this puzzle. So I'm not sure why everyone has a puzzle for me, but then there wouldn't be a game. But in real life, if everyone was coming with me with their problems, trying to make me solve brain teasers, I would get over it real quick. So number 3, yes, lots of puzzles. You can't die, I don't think, not in this one. You could get stuck on the puzzles, but you can just Google them. And you can also get hints in the game, so I think I would have no problem surviving. I would just have to kind of carve out my own path, maybe kind of like a hermit type character, a witch that lives in the woods that only comes to town occasionally, so I didn't have to interact with everybody. But I think, you could live like a nice life here if you could find your calling, maybe run like a small business, like a bookstore or something like that, and it wouldn't be too bad. But yes, the brain teasers and the top hat. So, game number 6, The Mermaid Mask. So this is a submarine murder mystery game, the third detective grimoire game in the series, and it takes place aboard a submarine. So yes, the vibes, spooky, underwater, maybe haunted, mystical. I am definitely a little bit claustrophobic. However, this is a pretty roomy submarine. Maybe a couple places are tight, but it's really hard to tell without being there, how the rooms all connect together and how many ladders I have to climb, whether or not this would end up being a problem. I've also never been in a submarine, so I like boats, but it's kind of a toss-up. I kind of have to experience it for a weekend getaway to really know. Number 2 is the people that are there are very eccentric, kind of this ragtag crew that has been gathered by the captain, who has then been murdered. There's maybe 1 or 2 people that I could get along with, but everyone else is just a little bit much, but they do seem to keep to themselves. They're all kind of hiding something. Even if they're not the murderer, it's kind of like there's other things going on, and they're just all being sneaky, and they're all kind of self-centered. You can't die in the game, but I might die in real life here. I'm not sure. Maybe if I had like a really cozy room and if we surfaced a lot, if I had some video games to play. But overall, if anyone could let me know what this submarine is from, I don't know if it's from a game or not. There's a little gauge down there, but that looks cool. But there's a downside to the submarine thing, so I'm really not sure about this one. Game 7, Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2. It's for Dead Space. So, space horror game, there's zombies, there's zero gravity, kind of the same but opposite of being in a submarine. You're in a very large space station, and it's pretty lonely here. And I really don't remember any of the characters, if I'm being honest. Like, that's not why I didn't play this game, for the characters or the story. So really, you're pretty much alone, and then you're getting attacked by zombies, and there's like a couple people. I don't know. You can die. I died. It's a survival horror game. Kind of the further you go along, the more powerful you get. But I've never been to space, so I'm just not sure. It seems a little scarier than the ocean. If there seems like there could be more that would go wrong in a spaceship because there's no zombies in the Mermaid Mask, but there are zombies in this game. So it's kind of just not sure about that one. Game number 8, Nier Automata Game of the Yorha Edition. This is an interesting one. It's not supposed to say that. This is not more Dead Space. It is post-apocalypse, robots versus androids type of thing. So yes, post-apocalyptic landscape. I don't know what, it takes place on Earth or something. So cool. There's desert, there's forest. I really like the landscapes and just like exploring them. That was like a big part of the game for me. However, there's a lot of fighting going on by the scary robots. You are an android sent to take care of the robots, so you're fighting them, but there's also cute robots. So I think that I would like to be in the cute robot tree village, because it pretty much was the only safe place in the game. yeah, a lot of war happening. So again, I'm not really into that. And I ended up not finishing the game pretty much because of the combat. I don't know, I played like 3 endings or whatever. I don't know. I read a summary, but I don't really remember what happened. But there was definitely some moments that were cool story wise. But as for if I want to hang out there, it's gonna have to be a no. Although, I felt really bad for these little guys. They are very cute. But robots they're also not people, and they got their own stuff going on. So I'll kind of just leave them to kind of figure it out themselves, and I'll stay over here in safety. Game number 9, getting close to the end. Dench Attack. So this one does have the exclamation in the title. That is true because it's a very exciting trainee hawk game. You are on a train and you're flipping it around and grinding rails and stuff. So it is in Japan, set in the near future during this, the impending climate catastrophe that's about to happen, but it is very pretty. So a lot of the rich people live in these domes, and then the other people, the regular people, live outside. It is very cool. You get to kind of tour a lot of different areas. It's very colorful and bright, and there are some, maybe more dangerous areas, but it seems like the people are still doing their best to kind of live a normal life outside of these protected bubble areas. Also, the people in the game are great. It's kind of this ragtag crew that you put together of dench attackers or the train riders. There's some fun characters there, and I think you could really find like a second family here that would welcome you in, like no matter how weird you are, how much you don't like really fit into regular society. So that's like a really positive thing for me. Yeah, can you die? Not really. You pretty much just will restart, 5-10 seconds down the track, and you can just retry until you get it. So yeah, overall, this game is, I would say, is like would be a positive kind of place to hang out. Everyone's trying to make the best of it, riding the rails. You get to learn about trains, which is always fun, and I think it'd be a pretty good time just fighting rival crews. It's not fighting, but it's doing tricks and getting high scores and races and all that stuff. It would be one of the top ones on this list for sure. Last game, number 10, is Exo Rally Championship. Now, this is another space game. It is a rally game set across a couple different planets that don't exist, and then also the moon. So these planets are remote. There's like a rocky desert planet, and there's kind of like a Earth-like-ish forest planet, and there's a volcano planet, and then there's the moon. So there's a couple different places to hang out. Fly, I guess you fly the spaceship between. I don't really know. There aren't really any other characters. There's some people that you race again, but no one lives in these places. So you just, I guess, would just be riding around alone if you chose to end up here. It is super easy to crash. Just one tiny little mistake, and you could completely destroy your chances at winning the championship. But I would imagine, if you're not racing, then you could take it a little bit more easy and have not such a bad time there. I think this one could be fun. It would be lonely though, but as long as you kind of drive safely, you should be okay. And this one wouldn't be too bad to hang out in, for sure. So thank you for visiting my presentation of the 10 games that I just played, and if I would survive there in real life, and if it would be fun. And I'll see you all in the next update. Thank you.